All right, let's get into the Maga Net Tick pull and the Mother Earth and the mothership and these types of things that's condensing in our world, as we got the mother and the father, the fat her. And the mother is the Tom is the twin on the back side, and that's where you see Gemini Trump, born on an eclipse date in 46. You see the 46 election and him coming as the second coming, and that dawn of time. He's born under the eclipse as Elon, the son of man, is coming in the ovulation office, and he's getting inseminated and those types of things in different ways. And now we got the tomb scene going on, and the Iran and the critical race I've told you about way back when, and all those things stacking up. So the cross is being set up over America in different ways, shapes, and forms. Oh man, the MAGA is here, the Netanyahu's here, that TikTok's here. The TikTok's been extended, that we've been told. This is kind of like those final seconds. We've seen the 11th hour clock being struck in different ways, and it's still being struck as we speak. The midnight is coming in. That midnight is coming into that thief in the night time frame, and then that grandfather clock. Either way, so the cross being set for the chapter 11 bankruptcy, and then you got chapter 13 bankruptcy coming on the 49, but the 48 can come early as Elon or Trump or JD Vance, they're working this thing, but one or Don or Elon, whoever, they'll go missing or dig under the tunnel, in a matter of speaking, and let the kings do the work on earth and divide the lights and gather the dead into the living and take them into the new time frame. And then they will that's be like this next year, that'd be opening up or whatever. But this is when the kings of the earth, or the prophets, the antichrist, to the old religions, the whatever's going to be pushed down on the people, the truther and all that stuff, because Jesus and the truth and the grace, all those things, that race, the Iran, all that stuff has to come race. Okay, so it's an allegory. All things are allegory in the Bible, it tells you, and they want to dumb you down and make it literal or historical or whatever, and they've created this so-called spiritual nation into a physical nation, Israel. And this is where it's gathering up that nation of Israel and that nation of the projection and that nation of America that's been shown, all these things together for that cookie cutter time frame. That cookie cutter's being melted down in one fashion, and then the pan has already been set, and the cookies just have to be put into the oven. And that's where you see the ribonucleic acid and all those things, and the DNA. DNA is the light in the body, this dawn working the projection, and this dawn of time, the dawn of America, the dawn of the dinosaurs, that ice age, Mastodon, all these, the Iguanodon, all of it is right now, people. Okay? So all those things are to tell you about what's coming. It's the programming for what's coming. So the magnifying glass is two-sided. It's clear. We're right here. Everything should be clear for you. You got the knocking on the door, the no king, and the MAGA 25 to the 25 on 9/11. Starting it up now. They're starting the hellfire as that incarnation of Christ comes in. That Antichrist, that Xmas spirit. That X is the placement for the Christ. That Christ man, the begotten Son. Going to take out one begotten Son, go into another begotten Son, while there's the real begotten Sons being set out, and all these things are going in to change one to another. Okay? So, and then Don has his family being set up on this side or whatever. So, this is where things get the trick and treatment. And so as these things are breaking up onto the earth, it's where like things are already being set up, and the man-child, depending what father or son or whatever you're reflecting or following on one side, and whatever child you are of those will depend on how much and where and when you feel the effects of the so-called chapter 11 bankruptcies or chapter 13 bankruptcies for the 49 and such. And this is where takes us into a little bit, but the 48 can come early in obvious ways, hopefully to those of you who've been reading the news or whatever, but that can come early, or we can see how one can go missing, and that'd be part of that rapture in a way. But that's where we're seeing this threat put out, and Tim is tied to this thing over here and whatever else, so Harris, and so it's all going into kind of those things that we've gone over in the past way back when. And either way, y'all, we're in that magnifying glass, and they're getting the focus points just right for that ant mound, and they're getting that man-child and such that controls the earth and the whatever's coming, getting the focus points just right on these ants, getting them going about and whatever. And this is where you see like the ants might start seeing, oh, I see that this might be end times. I'm gonna go take the family to the woods and whatever else, okay? Similar to the things that we did in 2020 and 2021 when I heard the trumpets sounding and the world shut down and all these things that I've been looking for, whatever. And then I was taken up into the high spot mentioned in Revelation 4 and shown the things that were coming, and I had to go and use my knowledge and the things that I've gathered as far as truth and grace, seeking after Jesus since the millennium was open, even before then, because I grew up in church and I heard certain things, the seeds planted that grew into trees, and I picked those fruits, ate from them, and that's where we are today. Okay, so as we're in the magnifying glass and the garden's growing dark on one side, and you have the new, that's the old heaven and earth, and you have the new heaven and earth, they're all meeting in that AI, the eye, the capstone, and then it's going to flip upside down, become a cornerstone or a foundational stone, and that's when everything goes dark for them. And either way, they haven't got their Googles on. They haven't got their Google on or their goggles on, getting ready for this flip so they can see underwater when or get their scuba tank, the Cuba tank ready for the Russia. All right, so either way, we got the magnifying glass coming in to focus in different ways, and that net Netanyahu is here, the hoo-hoo, that owl man, and the owl for the, we can see these kind of things like the Maga Net TIK, and then the net Netanyahu, the Tin Man, and that stuff for Oz is here, so that Yahoo, and then that would go like, did you get that RNA thing? Or whatever. So that's where like the next round of lockdowns comes, is where these people who got this or works into this ID alien system or whatever. But if you've or like you weigh too much or whatever, you can't go out to the store because fuel consumption fees and whatever, it's gonna keep, they're gonna, like, you're using more gas and you're using more tire tread and all this other shit if you weigh more or whatever. So you can see some of these people's cars where it like leans on one side if the car's small enough and they're big enough or whatever. But this is where the wages of sin is death, and that way guess is at Six Flags. We've all done these things. Our world is built on these times we're going into for the new heaven and earth. Okay? And we used to make a game of it. Everybody used to laugh. Well, how much does he weigh? We know how much they weigh. They got to go to the feed store and get weighed on the horse scale. Because we ain't got nothing like that here. Okay? You're going to have to use 1 foot on 1 foot. Well, you're going to have to add them together. Either way, that's where we're kind of going. Okay, folks? And the new heaven and earth where you got to pay your weight and whatever. You've all lived that sin. Now you got to go pay for your sin in different ways. As that son, begotten son, it tells you got to work and do these. Then that's where the church can. Well, it makes God happy if you obey the law. You don't have to, but it makes him happy. Or whatever they got going on. And we got free grace, but you got dressed like this. And they confuse you with the world because they put this and that out there that's made by man and made by earth. And then people are they don't know. And then it's like, have you not read the scrolls? Like, you're looking at the back, or you're looking at the phone, or what? Like, are you just scrolling around, or are you reading? Or all these kinds of things. So there's like multiple things going on, and you walk by people's phones or whatever, you see just a bunch of, well, you wonder why it says God's people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.